Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight to Congregation Va-Dor's second Song Fest. We are thrilled to bring Carol Robbins Garrett to you and Andrew Susman to you tonight with the music, the beautiful music of Barbra Streisand and Neil Diamond, with a bunch of commentary that both Carol and Andy have dug through the research of internet for. We're thrilled to have you part of Va-Dor tonight. If you like this program, join us for Shabbat, the High Holidays, and any of the other programs. We have Torah Talk, Touch of Torah, each Tuesday evening on Zoom, and we have various other discussion groups on Zoom as well. We thank you again, and you are muted, so if you'd like to sing along, the words are going to be on the screen. You can sing along, you can dance along, you can play the drums on your table or your keyboards to your heart's content, and you can have maracas if you've got them. Whatever you want, clap along and make it a fun evening. And at the end, we'll open it up and you can make all the comments you want then. So thank you again, and here we go.
So hi, everyone.
Away, Andy.
Oh, I was saying before that I don't know if people realize or know that Barbra Streisand and Neil Diamond were actually friends in high school. They were in choir together at Brooklyn Erasmus High School, and Barbara really never started writing music until much later on in her career, where Neil Diamond, really, that was kind of his thing. He was a music writer. And so the one song that they really did together was You Don't Bring Me Flowers Anymore. And you can find that on the internet of the two of them singing that together. But he also scored Jonathan Livingston Seagull. That was kind of like one of his big things, is that he got to score that. And he didn't think a lot of his songwriting. And so he more than gave his songs to other people to do. But eventually in his career, he started singing and doing a lot of his own music and became really a singer and songwriter extraordinaire. And so anyway, take it away, Andy.
Okay, well, thank you. Welcome, everybody. It's an honor and a privilege to be singing alongside Carol, Cantor Carol, and the music in particular to honor the work of Barbra and Neil. You'll notice the spelling of her name, Barbra. That was a unique thing she gave herself in high school to set herself apart. And so my opening song is going to be I'm a Believer. And many of us of a certain age, pretty much everybody here, may recall this song being a hit for the Monkees, because Neil wrote the song, and a record producer, a TV producer, Don Kirshner, was looking for material for the Monkees. And he heard Neil's #1 hit called Cherry Cherry in 1966. He reached out to Neil's manager, and they discussed what more material he had in the can. And Neil said, please, I have bills to pay. I don't have any money coming in. And he wrote several songs for the Monkees. This was the second big hit for the Monkees. Their first one was Last Train to Clarksville. But this was the first hit for them, written by Neil. And as Carol mentioned, it took a little while for him to get his chops in the music business with actually performing and writing his own material. And you'll see through the evening his evolution as a songwriter. So, let's see, anything else I want to share? No, that's pretty much about it. He was grateful that the Monkees picked up the tune, and the rest is history, as they say. So here we go. Our first song is I'm a Believer. I thought love was only true in fairy tales, meant for someone else, but not for me. Love was out to get me, do-do-do-do, that's the way it seemed. Do-do-do-do, disappointment haunted all my dreams. Then I saw her face, now I'm a believer. not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. Ooh, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. I thought love was more or less a given thing. Seems the more I gave, the less I got. What's the use in trying to do? All you get is pain. Do. When I needed sunshine, I got rain. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried. One more time. Then I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Not a trace of doubt in my mind. I'm in love. Ooh, I'm a believer. I couldn't leave her if I tried.
Thank you. And next up will be Carol with Mr. Bojangles. Carol, take it away.
So hi, just to warn you all, I have COVID, so my voice is not exactly the best that it could be, but I am here and I really want to do this program. This song was written originally by Jerry Jeff Walker. He wrote it in honor of this guy named Bill Robinson, who was born in 1877. Bill Robinson was a dancer and an actor, and Jeff Walker really liked him and liked the way he, tap danced and wrote this song about him. In 1968, Neil Diamond picked it up. In 1973, a bunch of the Gritty Ditty Band picked it up and did it as well. So there were a lot of people that ended up liking it and doing this song. But when I heard it, I think it was about 73 the first time, and I always just love this song. So here's Mr. Bojangles. You were man Bojangles, and he danced for you in worn-out shoes, with silver hair, a ragged shirt, and baggy pants. He did the old soft shoe. He jumped so high, he jumped so high, that he lightly touched down. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. I met him in a shop in New Orleans. I was down and out. He looked me in the eyes of age, and he spoke right out. He talked of life, he talked of life. He laughed and slapped his leg a step. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, dance. He said his name Bojangles, then he danced a lick across the cell. He grabbed his pants for a better stance, and oh, jumped so high, and he clicked his heels. He let go a laugh, he let go a laugh, and he shook his clothes all around. Mr. Bojangles, Bojangles dance. Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles, Mr. Bojangles dance. Take it away, Andy.
Okay, thank you. All right, the next song is called Holly Holy, and here's a few threads to give you some background. So this was one of Neil's most famous hits, successful hits, even early on. You can see back in '69. What I tried to do was create a religious experience between a man and a woman, as opposed to man and God. So that's one right there. And then he said Neil referred to the song as being about a powerful religious experience. That's how he kind of framed it. And this song is as deeply touching in a spiritual way, and this is not Neil, this is critics calling it, as Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah. And one more little factoid. This was one of Neil's most critically acclaimed commercially and artistically songs, and it was a top 10 hit in the U.S., Australia, Canada, New Zealand, and South Africa. So, and this is early on, '69. So all of us here tonight are hearing his music because of his tremendous trajectory, his incredible body of work, and Holly Holy. Holly holy eyes, dream of only me. Where I am, what I believe in. Holly holy, holly holy dream. We're wanting only you. And I run just like the wind will. Holly holy, sing a song, sing a song of songs, sing a song it out, sing it strong, yeah. Call the sun in the dead of the night, and the sun's gonna rise in the sky. Touch a man who can't walk upright, and that lame man, he gonna fly, and I fly. Holly, holy love, take a lonely child, and the seed, let it be filled with tomorrow. Holly holy, sing a song, sing a song of songs, sing it out, sing it strong, yeah, yeah, yeah. Call the sun in the dead of the night, and the sun's gonna rise in the sky. Touch a man who can't walk upright, and that lame man, he gonna fly. Happy holy dream of only you. Holly, holy sun, holly, holy rain, holly, holy love.
Nice, Andy.
Thank you, thank you.
Yeah, so the next song that we're going to do is Evergreen. This actually was one of the only songs that Barbra Streisand wrote herself. So she wrote the music, and then the lyrics were written by Paul Williams. And I don't know if you remember Paul Williams. He was a short little guy, and he wrote for everybody else. Him, just like Lionel Richie. Lionel Richie also was another one. He wrote for all the stars. So did Paul Williams, but never really did very much singing himself. And then at one point when they were on one of the music awards, they said, Paul, why don't you sing one of your own pieces? That's actually what happened with Lionel Richie too, with 3 Times a Lady. They said, why don't you sing your own piece? And that's when Paul began to get famous and started actually singing his own stuff. So this was written for a movie called A Star is Born. And so anyway, here you can hear it. Love, soft as an easy chair. Love, fresh as the morning air. One love that is shared by 2. I have found with you. Like a rose under the April snow, I was always certain that love would grow. Love, ageless and evergreen, seldom seen by 2. You and I will make each night a first. Every day a beginning. Spirits rise and the dance is on the air. They're warm and excited eyes, 'cause we have the brightest love. 2 lights that shine as one. Morning glory and the midnight sun. We've learned to say goodbye. Time won't change the feeling of one love, ageless and
That was phenomenal, Carol. Awesome.
Thank you.
Okay, well, the next one up is Sweet Caroline. And once again, the trajectory of the songs that Carol and I are playing, for the most part, follow a chronology of their evolution as singer-songwriters. Sweet Caroline came out in 1969, and it was written for his second wife, Marcia Murphy. But the problem was he needed a three-syllable name, so Marcia was out. And sometime during that year, during a songwriting experience, he saw a picture of Caroline Kennedy, who was, I guess, like maybe 8 or 9 years old. And it was a picture of her in riding gear next to her pony. And he was so taken by the picture that the name Caroline stuck in his head. So when he was coming up with a song, he said, 3 syllables, Sweet Caroline. So the song was not about Caroline Kennedy, but the idea for the name certainly came from her. And now the version that you're going to hear tonight, I need your assistance, of course, behind your muted screen there. You'll notice some things in parentheses, and that's your response. And what happened was in 1997 at Fenway Park, let's see, it's the woman's name, Amy Toby, the organist for Fenway Park, wanted to honor the daughter of one of the staff there, who happened, the young girl was named Caroline. And, over the years, this has become a absolute iconic song sung in the 8th inning stretch at Fenway Park to rally the team as the game is coming to a close. So you probably have heard this version with the response of the crowd just shouting out. So there you have it. And let's take it away. So your parts are in the parentheses. Where it began, whoa, I can't begin to knowing, but then I know it's growing strong. Oh, was it the spring? Whoa, spring became the summer. Who'd have believed you'd come along? Oh, hands touching hands, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, bum, bum, bum. Good times never seem so good, so good, so good, so good. Your part. I've been inclined to believe they never would, but now I look at the night and it don't seem so lonely. We fill it up with only 2. And when I hurt, oh, hurting runs off my shoulders. How can I hurt when holding you? Oh, one, touching one, reaching out, touching me, touching you. Sweet Caroline, good times never seem so good. I've been inclined to believe they never would. Oh, no, no. Sweet Caroline, bum, bum, bum. Good times never seem so good. Caroline. Bum, bum, bum. I believe they never could. One more time. Sweet Caroline. Good times never seem so good.
So Andy, so that song became really, really popular when the whole dueling pianos, thing came out. There was like a movement of dueling pianos in the 80s where you'd go to a piano bar and there'd be two or sometimes even three piano players all playing at the same time. And they started getting the audience to sing along with them. I don't remember if you remember before that you'd go like to the ice cream parlor and they would have the words on the screen and they have the red bouncing ball and you would sit with the red bouncing ball and they'd have sing-alongs with the songs and the red bouncing ball back in the like 60s. So then that was all kind of abandoned, but people like singing along, just like why we're having these programs here. People like to sing along. So they came out with this whole movement of dueling pianos, and Sweet Caroline is one of the songs that you very often would hear. A lot of Queen and that kind of stuff as well, things that they can get people to, make up words to, or add extra words to. The whole bum, 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 obviously he didn't write that, but
Right. Well, but that's the craft of the folk music. Songs take on a life of their own. And if we were to go back in the history of Americana, Stephen Foster was one of the legends of writing songs that people in the mid 1800s just loved, and as people would travel west on the wagon trains, they would sing those, and so that was one of those famous songwriters from the early part of America. But speaking of bouncing ball, maybe some of you remember this as a kid. I remember this one on Saturday mornings, and I'm going back to black and white TV days, early 60s, and they would teach you how to spell the name of Mississippi, the state of Mississippi, and it goes Mississippi. Maybe you all remember that one.
Yeah.
Anyway, I turn it back over to Carol.
Yeah, so this next song, You Don't Bring Me Flowers, is actually one of the songs that Neil Diamond and Barbra Streisand sang together. It was originally written for Norman Lear, and it was written for a movie called All That Glitters, and it was written as a duet, but All That Glitters was a daily sitcom, which actually flopped, and so this song didn't become really popular then, but later on became very popularized in 1977 by Barbra Streisand. And so it's a beautiful song. I'm going to try to sing this one. You don't bring me flowers, you don't sing me love songs, you hardly talk to me anymore when you come through the door at the end of the day. I remember you couldn't wait to love me. I used to hate to leave me. Now after loving me late at night, it's good for you, feeling alright. Just roll over, turn out the light. You don't bring me flowers anymore. Used to be so natural to talk about forever. Used to be don't count anymore. They just lay on the floor till we sweep them away. And baby, I remember
Beautiful. Thank you. Once again, gorgeous. My goodness. All right, the next song up is On a Clear Day. And this is one of the signature songs of Barbra. And as Carol mentioned earlier, Barbra and Neil are from New York, Brooklyn, New York. And Barbra had a traumatic experience as a young child. Her father died when she was only 15 months old. And the family had some really difficult times economically throughout her childhood. But, you know, as the years went by and she became a superstar, so I guess maybe she was grateful for the opportunities that unfolded, most notably the gift that she had to sing. When she was 18, I mentioned earlier, she decided to change the spelling of her first name. Instead of Barbara, it's just Barbra. Kind of abridged it, 2 syllables, and just wanted to stand out a little bit in that way and be unique. What an incredible career both these artists today we're sharing with you had. Barbra has recorded 35 studio albums, almost all with Columbia Records. And she was named in the 70s even the most successful female singer in the U.S. Having said that, Streisand is the only artist ever to receive an Oscar, a Tony, an Emmy, a Grammy, and a #1 single and #1 album. All of those different honors. Incredible. So
In several
now, yeah.
decades, by the way. She in the 1960s, 70s, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and 2010. She was the #1 album.
And the last little factoid, thank you for that one. Streisand is the first female singer to clock 10 #1 albums. So she recorded 35, 10 of which hit #1. So beautiful. And then on that note, we have On a Clear Day. Now, Carol's going to give a brief intro because the track that I have doesn't come across on the screen too well. So I'm going to sing it a cappella in a moment. Carol. We had a different key lined up, but here we go. On a clear day, rise and look around you, and you'll see who you are. On a clear day, how it will astound you that the glow of your being outshines every star. You'll feel part of every mountain, sea, and shore. You can hear from far and near a world you've never heard before. And on a clear day, on that clear day, you can see forever and ever and ever and ever more. Now, the song is incredibly brief, but it's like a kavanah, an intention. And, you know, when Carol and I selected the songs, she left this one on the table, and I says, I'm grabbing that one because, one, it was something that would be in my range, and one, it's a beautiful intention. So, Sharon, if you go back to the screen before, if you don't mind. So, on a clear day, rise and look around you. Now, we've all heard that phrase, you should wake up clear-minded, clear-headed, get some sleep, you'll feel refreshed. And so, as if we have non-Jews here, that's okay. But largely, the Jewish idea is that we have our morning prayers, and we rise with the dawn with an intention to celebrate life and embrace the gift of a new day. And this song totally speaks to that sense of presence and mindfulness, that we're grateful for this new day. And I turn it back over to Carol.
Thank you, Andy. Yes, it is a beautiful song. And I'm so glad you chose to include it in our songs. And I love that idea of that being kind of a kavanah. That's really cool. So the next song is My Man. It was originally written in 1920s. It was written by this French guy, Maurice Yvain, and he actually wrote it in French. It was called Mon Homme, My Man. And then Billie Holiday picked it up, and she did it. And then eventually later on, Barbra Streisand did it in the 1980s. And so in Funny Girl, they included it kind of as the last minute. Barbra Streisand said, I want to include this song in the movie Funny Girl. And so they ended up including this. So I really, really like the Billie Holiday version of it. And that's what I'm going to sing. It's kind of jazzy, kind of like, grovelly. But that's the version I'm going to do tonight, mostly because my voice is lower anyway. So anyway, here's my man. Sometimes I say, if you just get away with my man, he goes straight, sure as fate, for it never is too late for a man. I just like to dream of a cottage by a stream with my man, where a few flowers grew, and perhaps a kid or two, like my man. And then my eyes get wet and I almost forget, till he gets hot and tells me not to talk such rot. I love him so, he'll never know all my life is just despair. But I don't care when he takes me in his arms. The world seems bright. Oh, right. What's the difference if I say I'll go away when I know I'll come back on my knees someday? For whatever my man is, I am his forevermore. Oh, sorry about that.
Okay, well, that was jazzy. Oh, whenever you mention Billie Holiday, got to give her plaudits. Well, next song is called "Done Too Soon." So when I was asked to present some songs from Neil, I wanted to include some songs that probably many people have never heard of that I thought were very impactful to me. Back when I think I was 11 or 12, one of my dad's secretaries gave me a vinyl record of Neil's live performance called Hot August Night, and it was at some amphitheater in LA. I don't remember the name of that particular amphitheater. It wasn't the Hollywood Bowl, it was some other one. But anyway, it was a great album, influential, and this was one of the songs that captured my attention. So, of course, Carol and I did some research to see what our songs were about. And as back in the day, we'd take the bus to the public library and spend hours going through the stacks. All we have to do now is spend a few keystrokes and a few seconds, and the information is right there. No need to get on a bus and bother yourself. Spend hours. You can spend minutes. So this song lists some famous people, as you can see on the screen. And what's interesting is there's a wide assortment of people here. And I'm going to read. One of the fun things to do when you research things on the internet is read the comments, not just what someone has written that's presenting the content, but the comments that are below all that, because we get people's responses to that. So I'm going to share a few of those. So Neil's song is brilliant, as is his list of famous people who are at opposite ends of life. Does anyone notice that Neil mentions Carol Chessman, a famous red light bandit who had all sorts of crimes related to sexual abuse and whatnot? Although it was a man, Carol, like Carol O'Connor. But this particular person was put to death, even though he didn't kill anybody. All right, that's one. Diamond is not only writes brilliant melodies, but his lyrics are as deep as Dylan's at times. And I've got one other one. This is from a high school teacher. And he said that my class and I just discussed this song. We decided that at the time of our death, we will still have goals and objectives not yet accomplished, hence done too soon. So it's not about longevity, it's about where we are in our lives when we are not quite finished, per se. No matter how long we live, it may be too soon. And so all of us here tonight, keep that in mind. If we've got some projects we're working on, you still have time to finish them up. So on that note, Jesus Christ, Fanny Bryce, Wolfie Mozart, Humphrey Bogart, Genghis Khan, and on to H.G. Wells. Ho Chi Minh, Gunga Din, Henry Luce, and John Wilkes Booth, Alexander's King, and Graham Bell. Ramakrishna, Mama, Whistler, Patrice Lumumba, Russ Columba, Karl Marx, and Albert Camus. E.A. Poe, Henri Rousseau, Sholom Aleichem, Carol Chessman, Alan Freed, Buster Keaton, too. Each one there has one thing shared. They have sweated beneath the same sun, looked it up in wonder at the same, and wept when it was all done, for being done too soon, for being done too soon, and wept when it was all done, for being done too soon.
Thank you, Andy.
Thank you. So again, incredible songwriters. Now, Barbra didn't write too many songs, or she wrote Evergreen with Paul Williams, but most of the songs were written for her, or written, and then she was asked to sing them. And so this one is classic Barbra from the film of the same name. If you remember, Robert Redford starred in it with her. And so I'll be honest with you, many of us, we hear lyrics, but we probably hear them wrong. And this is a case of that. Until I actually leaned in to learn the song for this presentation, I thought that the second word was like. Memories like the corners of my mind. Anyway, so the word is light. Memories light the corners of my mind. And what a beautiful lyric. And we have fond memories and not so fond memories. Either way, they are part of our collective experience, or individual and collective. So let me just sing this a cappella. Memories light the corners of my mind. Misty watercolor memories of the way we were. Scattered pictures of the smiles we left behind. Smiles we gave to one another for the way we were. Can it be that it was all so simple then? Or has time rewritten every line? If we had the chance to do it all again, tell me, would we? Could we? Memories may be beautiful, and yet what's too painful to remember, we simply choose to forget. So it's the laughter we will remember whenever we remember the way we were, the way we were. And once again, this was another song that Carol did not pick up, or maybe if she did in the beginning, she bounced it back. And once again, I see this song as a kavanah. When we recite the Kaddish, these are the kind of thoughts I'm thinking about. We hold dear the memories of our loved ones, of our mentors, of our neighbors and friends. And so, once again, this song is an intention to me, and grateful to be able to share that with you today. Many thoughts here. Let me see if I've got some information that I wanted to share with you. Well, here's one. You'll love this one. So when the song was originally written, the opening word was daydreams, not memories. Imagine that. And Barbra was the one who suggested the word memories, and she made it 2 syllables instead of memories. So it's written memories, but it's sung memories light the corners of my mind. And that opening line might be a refrain that you can think about whenever you recite the Kaddish or hear the Kaddish. And let's see, anything else I want to share with you. This song in 1974 won the Academy Award for Best Movies Song, and then in 75 won a Grammy for Best Song of the Year. And think about this song, think about the songwriting of the composition of the music, think of the lyrics, think of the production, the arrangement, and then you add the incredible skill of Barbra as the singer, and it was pretty much a shoo-in to be both Best Song of the Films for the 74 and get a Grammy the following year. So kind of like a dream team when all comes together. So thank you.
So yeah, way too many people being done way too soon. Um, I was telling people before we got started that I was actually in a Neil Diamond band when I was in my 30s. I have this friend, Bill, he sounds just like Neil Diamond, and he plays the guitar, and he's an amazing guitar player. He played with Bob Seger for a while until he and Bob Seger got in a fight. They had a garage band that they would play together in the garage, and he and Bob Seger had this argument, and Bob Seger said, well, you know, this is my song and we're doing it this way, and Bill said no, and so Bob Seger said, okay, go. I think actually Bill said, okay, go get your own band then, which Bob Seger did. He went and got his own band, became very famous. And Bill is still around. He still lives in Michigan. He's still an amazing musician and guitar player, but obviously didn't become the famous Bob Seger. And so we ended up doing this talent show, and I got up, and I think this was like, I always would sing, but this was an opportunity that I got up and I sang a Barbra Streisand song on the stage at Camp Tamarack. I was 8. And I remember people saying, wow, that was really good. And you sound a lot like her. And so that was all I needed to, give myself the permission to keep on singing and doing music. My family were all musicians anyway. My father was a musician, and he always played like bar and bat mitzvah groups. And my dad also had a radio show with Katie Burrell, and for a while he played with Buddy Rich, like sitting in with Buddy Rich in the drums, because my dad was a drummer. And so, yeah, but I was the youngest of 4 of us, and I just, I really needed the encouragement myself to be able to sing and play. So anyway, that was that. So now I'm going to do this memory, which was written in 1981 by Andrew Lloyd Webber for the play Cats. I'm going to go ahead and do this. So hopefully you can hear all of this. Midnight, not a sound from the pavement. Has the moon lost her memory? She is smiling alone in the lamplight. The withered leaves collect at my feet, and the wind begins to moan. I can dream of the old days. Life was beautiful then. I remember the time I knew what happiness was. Let the memory live again. The street lamp seems to be a fatalistic warning. Someone mutters, and a street lamp gutters, and soon we will be mourning. Tonight, I must wait for the sunrise. I must think of the new life, and I mustn't give in. When the dawn comes tonight, will be a memory too, and a new day will begin. burned out ends of smoky days, the stale cold smell of morning. Sweet love's tide, another night is over, another day is dawning.
Well,
Oh.
for those, you can see Somewheres by Leonard Bernstein, Stephen Sondheim. And this was actually Stephen Sondheim's first huge success with the music from West Side Story. So the legend that we now know of Stephen Sondheim. Now it says 1985, but I remember this goes back much earlier than that. So maybe I'm mistaken, but certainly we all are familiar with West Side Story and some of Sondheim's work there. So Carol, when did this song was it written in 85 or it's before
It
that?
was written in 1957 originally by Leonard Bernstein, and it was called There's a Place for Us. And then in 1985, it was readapted by them for Barbra Streisand, and she called it Somewhere. So there's a place for us, somewhere a place for us, peace and quiet and open air, wait for us somewhere. There's a time for us, someday, time for us, time together with time to spare, time to learn, time to care, someday, somewhere, we'll find a new way of living, we'll find a way of forgiving, somewhere. There's a place for us, a time and place for us. Hold my hand and we're halfway there. Hold my hand and I'll take you there. Somehow, someday, somewhere.
Incredible song, and I'll tell you, walk down memory lane. I remember when I first got married and I first had children, and we bought a station wagon. It was a Ford Taurus. How many remember that? And that
I had a
car
Ford
came with
Taurus.
a cassette tape of maybe a dozen hits, and that was one of the songs on that tape in the Ford Taurus. Loved listening to that one. Beautiful. That was a beautiful rendition of that, Carol. Thank you. Thank you. And yeah, that was definitely one of Barbara's signature songs that she took the original and made it her own. And we have up again, Secondhand Rose. Carol?
So Secondhand Rose was hold on. Secondhand Rose was written originally in 1921, another one that was imagined, and it was written for the film Fanny Bryce, and which was Grant Clark and James Hanley who wrote it. Then again in 2004, Barbra Streisand felt like she had kind of like you had said, she grew up really poor and she grew up with, her father having passed away when she was young. And so I think she kind of took a liking and maybe even felt like she identified with this song a little bit. So she had redone it. And she played Fanny Bryce in the movie later on in 2004. So I am going to do this for you. Can you hear that?
Please lower it, Carol.
It's too loud?
Yes,
Okay. Follow down.
way down.
Okay. Maybe just. Mother had a business, strictly secondhand. Everything from toothpicks to a baby grand. Stuff in her apartment came from father's store. Even clothes I'm wearing, someone wore before. It's no wonder that I feel abused. I never get a thing that isn't used. I'm wearing secondhand clothes, secondhand hats, secondhand clothes. That's why they call me Secondhand Rose. Even a piano in the parlor, Daddy bought for 1 cent on a dollar. Secondhand pearls I'm wearing, secondhand curls. I never had a single thing that's new. Even Jake the plumber, he's the man I adore, had the nerve to tell me he's been married before. Everyone knows that I'm Secondhand Rose from Second Avenue. From Second Avenue. New? Not know at the end. New. She says new. Yeah.
Beautiful. I remember that film from when I was a kid, as you played that. Yeah, good stuff. So I think the last song of the evening is a song called B. And originally I was going to play America, but once I realized I needed a serious accompaniment, I decided that wasn't going to fly. And this song also could benefit from some accompaniment, but it can also work without. This song is one of the tracks from the movie Jonathan Livingston Seagull. And I don't know how many of you are familiar with the book. You've probably heard the name of the book by Richard Bach. And Richard Bach had maybe half a dozen, big hits of his books. And this one was probably his first big hit. And I probably read 3 or 4 of those over the years. And I don't remember the film, although the film I understand wasn't that successful. But the music, the album, the soundtrack from the film is stunning. And I'm trying to think, it was probably about 20 years ago that I first came across the music, and it just took my breath away. And so as I was thinking about tonight, I said I really want to share a song from the soundtrack. And this one is one of my favorite of the soundtrack. So if you have a chance, you go on YouTube. You can certainly dial up soundtrack from the film, Jonathan Livingston Seagull, and you'll probably have all 14, 15 tracks. So B. So once again, as you read the lyrics and you listen to this particular song, it's almost a religious experience. A quote that from Neil Diamond says he calls this a 6-minute flight of pure existentialism. And a definition for existentialism: a philosophical theory encompassing the existence of the individual as a free and responsible agent determining our own development through acts of the will. So in other words, existentialism is the belief that we have agency and says, I am here and this is who I am and this is my journey. And I say all that as a preamble because the high holidays are coming up. And between now and the high holidays is a time to begin to introspect. Who are we as individuals? Who are we as part of Klal Yisrael, the greater community? Who are we as part of the world? And this song brings that to the fore. So. Lost on a painted sky where the clouds are hung and the poet sigh, you may find him, you may find him there on a distant shore by the wings of dreams through an open door. You may know him if you may be as a page that aches for a word which speaks on a theme that is timeless, and the one God will make for your day. Sing as a song in search of a voice that is silent, and the sun God will make for your way. And we dance to a whispered voice, overheard by the soul, undertook by the heart, and you may know it, if you may know it. While the sand would become the stone, which begat the spark, turned to living bone. Holy, holy, Sanctus, Sanctus, be as a page that aches for a word which speaks on a theme that is timeless, and the one God will make for your day. Sing as a song in search of a voice that is silent, and the one God will make for your way, and the one God will make for your way.